We all love the sound of money, and a $1,500 sign-on bonus sounds even better. That's right, Bellisio Foods of Jackson is offering a $1,500 sign-on bonus to new employees. Receive an extra $100 your first 6 weeks, then $400 after day 90, and $500 after day 180. Don't wait. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers today. That's BellisioFoods.com/careers. Come work for a company who truly values their employees. Come work for Bellisio Foods.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show and a whole lot of, whole lot of stuff here on Main Street TV this morning. This is going to be a fun show for you because we have our good friend, Corey Ruby, who's over there, who I can't see.
I feel like Home Improvement.
I know.
Remember the neighbor?
Oh, yeah.
What was his name?
Wilson. Yeah, we could talk to each other just eyeball to eyeball. So Corey is here. He is our Jackson County. What did you say it's called?
Well, the easy way is just the bee inspector.
He's
but
the bee
I think
inspector.
it's the apiary inspector is what the title is.
That's right. But bee inspector is a little bit easier to say. So we'll just go with that, Corey. But welcome to the program. And we are going to talk about all things bees today. I wore my flower shirt just so that,
right.
Just to be appropriate. I thought that would be good. But no, welcome to the show. And Corey and I have talked about this for a long time. And we're so glad that you're here today to finally make it happen. And as you can see, he brought like a plethora of props. So this is going to be so fun. And pictures galore. So he is really prepared this morning. And we're going to have a good time. So first off, Corey, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and how you got into the bee world.
Sure. So, like Jennifer said, I'm Corey Ruby, and I do serve as the county bee inspector. But probably my favorite bee title is the fact that I'm a 4th generation beekeeper.
That's awesome.
My boys become 5th generation. They help out some, and so this whole thing started back in the 1930s,
Look
1940s.
Yeah,
there's my boys. That's Mason and Parker. My great grandfather, Wilbert Stone. That's him right there, taken in probably the 60s. He kept bees for 60, 70 years, and was a honey producer. He got out of the beef business and went into the bee business. At the time, he'd worked down at Detroit Steel in New Boston, and the steel mill was closing, and so he was able to get kind of an early retirement. So at one time, he had about 600 hives.
Wow.
He was a one-man show and really made a living on honey, and had a place in Florida where he would winter and had bees down there in the orange groves and a separate honey house down there. So anyway, I grew up right there, actually probably right in that location, helping him build frames and assemble frames and extract honey. And he died when I was 18 years old. And so there was a brief time where no one in our family was making honey. And it was always a dream of mine to get back into the honey business and keep that going and teach the boys, So as life goes, we got through all of our college years. I'm a teacher. That's what pays the bills. I always tell everyone that's what pays the bills. I teach at Buckeye Hills, teach government there.
You love it, by the way.
Oh, I love Buckeye Hills. I'll give a shout out to Buckeye Hills right now. If you need, if you want to change your life and you want to go a different route, Buckeye Hills adult ed is second to none. And if you're in high school, you can walk away debt-free and join the workforce. So
you got it.
Wonderful place. So anyway, that's how we got in the bee business. And
gotcha.
I got through grad school and started keeping bees. And then one thing leads to another to where we got this beekeeping supply shop now, Precious Stone Honey and Supply. We're on Facebook, www.preciousstonehoney.com. We are on website, and we sell beekeeping supplies. We have everything that you need to keep bees, all the way down from the hives that we're going to talk about in a minute to live bees themselves. We sell packaged bees.
Oh, that's cool.
So I think we got a picture of those, don't we? Packages.
I think you did send a package.
Yeah, in the garage, all the wooden boxes.
That's
there
the one I
they
asked
are.
you. How in the heck, when you get the bees to your location, do they know where to stay?
Right. So
this is your new home.
Yeah, that's a good little picture there. Jason Dunn up there in the top left. He helps out a little bit. That's my Uncle Todd. He's my right-hand man. So
wow.
Anyway, that was a good day there. And people, there's 3 pounds of bees in those boxes, about 30,000 bees, and they're just waiting for a new home.
Oh my gosh. So we're going to get to, I mean, I have so many questions and we only have an hour, so I don't know how we're going to get through all of this stuff, but everyone wants to cuss and complain, and including myself, about pollen, and none of us can breathe this time of the year, and the eyes are watering and all of that stuff. But bees are kind of responsible for that, right?
Yeah, that's.
But it's a good thing.
That's right, and that's the bees' number one job. They're the pollen. They're one of the pollinators of the world.
And what exactly does that mean? Because, you hear this, we don't want to kill honeybees, without them, we won't survive and all of that. But why is that? Could you give that in
Sure.
terms we can understand?
Yeah. So basically, you have 2 types of plants, what's the word I'm looking for? Plant life, whether it be the trees, weeds, gardens. But, the way that plants are able to produce a fruit or a crop is through pollination. And some plants are able to do an open air pollination, and some require a pollinator. And so, especially in the days of a lot of the old heirloom stuff, the plants had to be pollinated. And so the bee and any other kind of pollinator, butterflies and bumblebees, they'll go in there to collect the pollen, and the pollen is their protein source. Pollen is high in protein. And so they take that pollen then back to the hive. Well, as they're jumping from flower to flower to flower, they're dropping pieces of pollen, which is that's what creates the pollination. This also happens naturally through the wind.
Okay, that makes sense.
Even without, you see in the springtime. That's why I'm talking like this.
Yeah,
today.
I know. That's why we're all like the eyes are watering.
Yeah. And so that you can sometimes see it landing on your car. That's the wind blowing the pollen.
Big time. Yes.
Yeah, but the bees do a huge role in getting that pollen from point A to point B, so that you see your pretty flowers and get your different tasty items, apples, peaches.
That's right. And so they are very, very important to, our life. And so don't be nice to your local bees.
Right.
Yes. So, all right, you have brought all kind of props. So I'm just going to turn you loose and let you describe some of this stuff. And then we also have a lot of pictures to go along with a lot of the props. So this is so fun and exciting.
Yes. I see we got a comment up there. I did not put harsh chemicals on my yard like my bees.
Yes.
Hey, that's great, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick before we get into props, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So, friendly tip for bees. If you're going to spray Roundup, if you're going to spray, any kind of herbicide, we want to do that when the bees aren't active. Okay, so bees don't get started right at daylight. They wait till it warms up a little bit, and then they go into the hive at dusk. So they're not out working at night.
Okay.
So once the Roundup spray dries, then it's no longer damaging to the bee. There's no risk that the bee goes and touches it and brings it back into the hive.
Oh, that's good to know.
If you can do your spraying at night, not necessarily in the dark, but, once sundown, half hour before dark, get out there, do your weed killing, then you're really going to take it easier on the bees. Another thing is try to do your weed killing before the weed's flower opens up. That takes away the bee's desire. The bee's not going to go land on a blade of grass.
Okay.
He's going to the flower.
Gotcha.
Okay. Or I guess I should say she. Need to get these pronouns correct.
That-
The male bees, they do nothing.
Male bees
worthless.
suck.
They do. That's right.
They're
That's
a bunch
right.
of lazy
Can relate.
oafs. So, but anyway.
Of
that's
course,
just
the women take care of everything.
Right. Exactly.
We'll get to that.
Friendly tip on spraying. It's okay. You know, everyone says, oh, I can't spray. Well, try to restrict it, but you can spray. Just try to do it safely.
Sure.
That's our recommendation for that. So where do you want to start, Jennifer?
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I mean, there's so much stuff here. So, well, let's talk about this big thing that's in between us.
Okay, so this is our beehive. All right.
Okay.
This is a standard Langstroth hive. This is a bee's house. And am I allowed to stand up?
Sure.
Okay, so
Take the mic with you so we can hear you.
okay.
Yeah, because you got to talk right into it.
It's got a nice clip on it. Okay, so you can still see me because I'm not 7 foot tall, which is good. So this is the beehive. This bottom piece down here, this is called the bottom board. That's where the bees land to come in. This bottom.
Okay, now I feel like I need to stand up.
Okay,
I want to see.
stand up. So this bottom box right here, this is called a deep hive body. Okay. This is 9 inches tall, roughly, a little bit taller than that, but we're just going to say 9 inches tall. And that is where the bees are going to lay up all their brood, the babies. Okay.
Ah.
And we got some pictures of that in just a minute. The second box here is called the honey super. Okay.
Okay.
So the second box is where the bees store their honey. Now, it doesn't have to be in this order. I use a couple boxes for brood, and then we get to honey. But that's a deep conversation. That's just basic.
Yeah,
this is basic beekeeping to understand what a box is.
Exactly.
And then this is called an outer cover right here. Okay, so Jennifer, I want you to lift this off and just set it down behind us. Okay. This is a used hive. This is one that I had bees in, so it's not all brand new and pretty anymore. This piece here is called the inner cover.
Okay.
So this goes on top of the box, so we can remove that.
Okay. So we're taking this too.
Yep. Now we're getting into the hive.
Oh.
So now, Jennifer, you got another job.
Okay.
You hold the mic for me.
Okay.
Okay. Everyone hear me? So I'm going to lift this up. And in here is where the bees make their honey. So this is a frame of drawn comb that the bees used last year. And they take this frame, and it's blank, and they fill it up with beeswax.
So wait, so the bees actually, the bees make that.
Bees made that completely.
So this frame was actually just nothing in it.
Right there's this had nothing but honey in it. Notice how that one's really, it doesn't have that dark brown. See how this one has the dark brown?
So what's the difference?
Okay. The dark brown is where brood was raised. This is a great way to tell the difference between a frame that's used for honey and a frame that's used for brood. I don't like to extract honey out of brood frames.
So that's where the babies are?
That's right.
Okay.
Now, some beekeepers do. I think it affects the taste of the honey. Gives it a musky taste. Now, that's a good picture. Let's leave that one up. So that's a deep frame that we see the picture of. And that deep frame, it goes down in this bottom box, and it's empty. I don't have frames in it right now. That's where all the bees live. That's their brood chamber. That's where they stay.
House.
That's their bee house.
Aww.
Yeah. And so Langstroth, you notice I've been taking this hive apart. This was invented by a guy named Lorenzo Langstroth in the 1800s. And he called it the removable beehive. So he could take the boxes apart without destroying the bee's comb. Okay. That's how I could pull those frames out. That's how you do an inspection. The Egyptians were the first to keep bees, and they did it in those things called a skep, that look like a little...
Oh, what you see, like that.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
Okay.
And so when you harvested your honey, you killed your bees. because
That's not good.
they'd go in there and they'd try to get the bees out. They'd smoke them out. Then they crushed all the comb to strain the honey.
That's so
And then
sad.
the bees would swarm off and abscond. So Langstroth didn't want to destroy the bees.
Yeah.
And that's our big word, save the bees. Precious Stone Honey, that's our slogan. We want to save the bees, save the bees.
Definitely.
And so that's kind of the way the beehive works. So you give them space as the colony grows. I think I have a picture of a really tall beehive on there. Did you see that one? The single one that has like 6 boxes on it. A good honey hive.
We're looking. Corey was so thorough that he sent so many pictures that it's hard for us to go through them.
There's some Okay, that'll work. Keep going through some of those. Uh-oh, James.
He found it.
There
we go.
That's
okay.
it. That's it. Very good. So if you notice that box there's a deep box on the very bottom and then a medium. That's how I like to raise my bees. So the first 2 boxes are always the bees. Everything above that would be mine. So that was a really good honey hive last year that has 4 honey supers on it.
You said that's what it should look like.
Yeah.
Like a good honey hive.
This time of year, if you're in honey production and you're keeping bees, your hive should look like that. And those honey boxes should be plumb full of honey right now. And the bees on the outside, that's called bearding. And they're doing that to keep warm. To keep cool. So they come out and they fan. The bees know how to dehydrate that honey to 11% moisture.
Of course they do, because they're brilliant.
Exactly. And then they cap it.
Okay.
And so they know exactly when to do that. And honey is forever, it never spoils.
Yes.
Once it's capped, they found honey in what are those pyramids the Egyptians had that's still preserved. It's edible, been in there thousands of years. I'm not going to try it.
No, we'll leave that to someone else.
Honey's sterile. It can be used to heal cuts,
That's
wounds.
why they use it in wound care.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It has lots of antiseptic properties. And so the bees, they know how to get it done. And that's why the honey never will ferment, because they get that moisture level down. You know a little bit about fermentation process.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So bees, they're good. They got that down. And that's how it works. And they make excess honey. So can we bring that one picture back up there again of the tall hive? So I would never take the honey out of the bottom 2 boxes. That's so the bees can live through the winter.
Because they live there.
Right.
Yeah.
And then we'll take the honey out of the top boxes and we extract it. And I think I have a picture of a good capped honey frame maybe.
We're looking.
With the extractor.
I have one labeled as uncapped. I have one labeled as uncapped. I don't have any labeled as capped.
Okay. So that's what a frame looks like when the cappings are taken off. Okay. And that's ready to go in the extractor, and it uses centrifugal force. There we go. That's it right there. Notice how that honey is out past the sides of the frame. The bees pull that out, and then they put a pure wax capping. And if I would not have extracted that and I took it, I could leave it just like that as long as I want, and the honey stays good.
Oh, wow. God, they're so smart.
They know how to do it.
I guess.
And then the honey stores, bees are kind of, as smart as they are, they're kind of simple. They quit, they'll store honey as long as there's nectar. So by us adding boxes, we are like making the bees our slaves. So they want to fill every space. Like they don't need all that honey. And that's why it's called robbing the honey, because we're stealing their honey. And so
for our own use.
For our own use. Yeah.
Oh. Well, that's okay. I'm sure they don't mind.
They're nice.
Yes.
Some of them are.
Yeah.
All right. I think we can probably sit down.
Okay. You want to take this out of the way so we can see each other?
Yep.
Let's see. Is this all go in one piece?
Yeah.
I go in peace.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now we can see each other. This is so fun.
All right. Good deal. So we talked a little bit about honey, extracting honey, robbing honey. That's why it's called robbing. That's what the bees use to stay alive. Honey is loaded with carbohydrates.
So they make it and then they eat it. Like
Yes.
that's
Right.
their food.
That's their food. That's how the bee survives to make it through wintertime. And also a time like we're getting ready to go into what's called the dearth, okay, where nectar producing plants are going to shut down in the middle of the summer. This is a really hard time for our honeybees.
Okay.
We're going in the July month is hard on bees.
Okay.
So where we live, it's kind of bad. Most of our honey is collected through tree nectar, locust, sourwood, poplar, the fruit trees.
Okay.
And then the other sources is some weeds. You've got goldenrod and aster in the fall. You've got your wild blackberries, wild raspberries, and dandelions is usually what they start on. And then obviously all that white clover in your yard.
Okay. Yeah. So is that why you and I have talked about this? Because we've talked about making a beer together, which would be really, really cool. And we'll do that for sure. But is that why you were saying that like spring honey and fall honey are kind of different?
Yeah. So people that like to make beer or mead with their honey, the fall honey has a higher sugar content usually than the spring honey.
Okay.
And so a lot of people that make the meads, which I've never made mead and probably wouldn't care for mead too well, but
it's
they want
a lot.
They want
it's
strong,
very sweet and
it's Viking wine is what it is.
I mean, it'll get you.
Yes. So
I have a story I want to tell you about that here in a minute, but go ahead.
But anyway, there's people that's using it for mead and beers. You want different kinds of honey just depending on that honey taste. So, the fall honey is usually a much more pungent, strong, very strong tasting honey.
Okay.
Where spring honey is more aromatic and floral.
Gotcha.
Almost clear. That bottle of honey right there, that is a fall honey.
Okay, so it's darker.
It's darker.
Like richer.
Exactly.
Looking.
Spring honey, depending on when you rob it, could almost be translucent.
Really?
Yeah. So,
see, that one's lighter, it looks like.
That's summer honey right there.
Okay.
So that would be springtime honey. And it is lighter than that one. And
for sure.
Where we live, I blend all the honey. So in some places in the country where they're on a heavy crop, they could actually isolate their honey, and maybe it would be tulip poplar honey or maybe locust honey.
Or see.
Pure clover honey.
So you do see that sometimes, clover honey or whatever.
Clover honey is very light, and the black locust honey is very, very light.
Okay.
And so that's my favorite. Black locust honey is my favorite. It's almost as clear as water.
Wow.
It's just hard to get.
So this is an interesting thing that happened, and you can explain to me why this is, and I think I have a suspicion as to why. So there is a meadery up in Columbus. I don't know if I've told you this story or not, but it's called Brothers Drake.
Okay.
And they do amazing meads, and they have two locations, one in California, which is where the owner's originally from, and then they have a Columbus location.
Okay.
So Jamie and I just happened to stop by there one day and happened upon the owner. And we were the only ones in there, and he came out and, we were talking about the brewery and all of that. And he said, oh yeah, I'm the owner. I'm from California, but we have this place here. And so we were sampling some of the stuff. Well, he brought out some of his California mead.
Mm-hmm.
So he brought out his base mead in the Columbus area and then the base mead from California, and they tasted completely different. Mm-hmm. And I assume that's because the honey's different because of the vegetation.
Absolutely.
I could not believe the difference.
So
the taste.
That's where a lot of people say you need local honey, right, for your allergies.
Sure.
Now, we kind of put a generic 30-mile radius.
Uh-huh.
And that pretty much would guarantee you're in local honey. But really, it's a lot deeper than that.
Okay.
If you have to break down the United States in regions.
Okay.
So we are in the Appalachian foothills.
Yes.
So if you look at all of the local vegetation that thrives in our area, that will actually go down into North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky. You following me here?
Yeah, so that's local honey.
That would all be local
Bee,
honey
pun intended.
if you're exactly if you're eating honey where bees are pollinating the same allergens in your area.
Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to be like out of your backyard, local honey.
Exactly. You want the same allergens. So
I see.
I just got back from Lake Erie. I didn't have any allergies in Lake Erie.
I know. Why is that? Why do we get near water and it stops?
I think that's a sign from God.
Yeah.
We need to live.
We need to move to the beach, all of us.
On an island or by water.
Okay. I found this map.
There you go.
I searched for bee regions.
Oh,
so cool. I don't know if you can
Perfect.
make sense of that.
It's excellent. Now I want you to take a look at that map, guys. We're in the orange. Okay?
Barely.
That's why the
Wow.
30 miles is misleading. If you go to Chillicothe, I would not consider Chillicothe honey local honey.
Isn't that wild?
Especially if you're more northern Chillicothe up towards Pickaway County. The bees have so much more crops. There's so much more field crops that they're pollinating on.
Okay, so our honey we need to go south.
We need to go
For
south.
honey.
West Virginia is our friend. A lot of Pennsylvania. It looks like up even into New York. And then down, that's the Appalachian region. All you got to do is follow your mountain regions, really.
Sure.
And so that's a great
Thanks,
map. Yeah,
James.
That's right, James. Good deal, man.
He's good, I tell you.
So anywhere, you can pull that map up. If you're traveling and you're in those regions, if you're buying local honey in those regions, that would be good local honey.
Okay, so that would help with your allergies.
Yeah.
And why does that help with your allergies?
Of course,
Do you know?
Jackson County honey is the best.
Well, of course. I mean, right
So,
from Corey right here.
we don't want to mislead people.
No, we can get it right here. And why wouldn't you buy it from
Sure.
your local?
Closest
farmer?
to you, in a serious note, the closest to your physical address is always the best.
Yeah, makes sense. So that's where you are the most.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Oh my gosh. So you have so many props. So I don't even know.
Well, let's see here. Where do we want to go next? Let's talk about Beekeeper Tools.
Okay.
Okay.
And you have an actual store where people can come and buy
Yep.
the hives and buy all of this stuff, right?
Yep. Sure
Okay.
do. Yep. And, like I said, it's not our full-time job, but it's turned into one, it seems like. It grows.
You created a monster, didn't you?
We're blessed. You know what? That's just all Nicole and I, it really is, it's almost emotional a little bit when I think back to my family, and
Sure.
that my family has made a living on bees and to do that and to keep that going. And, who knows what it's going to be like in 20 more years. One of my boys might take it and get to raise their family on it,
That's right.
But, we do have a store, and we don't have store hours necessarily, but if you call us, we get everything ready for you. My shop right now is more like a warehouse. We do have a storefront that we've built.
Okay.
We don't have it finished yet. We are going to have a real retail space in the very
Awesome.
near future. We supply two farm stores or garden stores locally that sell exclusively our equipment.
Oh, awesome.
Shade River Ag Supply in Pomeroy and Athens. They have a full-blown storefront with all of our inventory in it, and White's Mill in Athens.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of beekeepers in Athens.
I could see that.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. A lot of beekeepers. up
That's
there.
very fitting.
Yeah, very fitting. Yes. So, and it goes to where, where they have a lot of these farmers markets.
Yeah.
And people's doing this homesteading and local.
Sure.
Bees just go hand in hand with it. At one
Absolutely.
time, everyone had a hive or two of bees in their backyard and some chickens. And I think we can see that it's moving back to that.
Oh, I think it certainly is moving back to that.
It really is.
Absolutely.
Always best to go local, guys. Anytime we can support local, we got to support local. Every chance we can.
Yeah, and why not? Because you know where it comes from, right?
Better for us, better for our community.
Yeah.
That's what it's really all about. It's all about giving back. We try to give back a lot.
Sure.
Through the local sports organizations in Oak Hill. We sponsor a lot of things there, and we're really in this to help people. When you buy from us, you're going to get free mentorship to the best that I can do. I don't have all the answers. My grandpa always said, if you ask 10 beekeepers same question, you get 11 answers. So
I'm sure, and I'm sure that's the truth. And once again, there he is. That's so cool that he started that. So
we got to talk about him real quick.
Yeah.
So everyone wants to know, why is it called Precious Stone?
Yeah, right.
Okay, so my great grandpa's name was Wilbert Stone. So obviously we got the stone. My last name is Ruby.
Yeah.
A ruby is a precious stone. So I don't know if you can zoom in on this hat right here. Or maybe let's do my hat. My hat's better. Can you zoom in on my hat? Oh, sorry.
We can try.
I didn't make you. You shouldn't have to get up. See if you can zoom in on my hat. Try not to show my face, though. The people will leave.
That's not true.
It's okay. But my queen bee on my logo, she is holding a ruby in her hand. Oh, there we go. So can you see that there? Oh, wrong finger.
Yeah, it's all backwards.
Right there.
Yes,
She's got a little ruby in her hand, okay? And so that's why we call it Precious Stone Honey and Supply. So I'm a ruby. Ruby's a precious stone. And that's it. So we try to honor Grandpa when we can. I'm lucky. He was my great-grandpa. My grandpa's still living, and so he's been part of this. And a lot of people that's got their hornets and yellow jackets removed. He's the guy that comes and does all that hornet and yellow jacket removal.
That's a whole other story.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm like at my house one night, and there was this thing buzzing around, and I told Jamie, I said, that is a critter I have never seen before. So I, of course, take a picture of it and send it to Corey, and he immediately writes back, that is a queen yellow jacket.
Yellow jacket. Right.
She needs to go bye-bye.
Yeah. That's right.
Unless you want like this bazillion, but she had left by the time that I had talked back with you. So whatever, I'm sure she's out.
She probably made billions or millions of little yellow jackets.
Little yellow jackets, but I had never seen such a thing before. That was definitely an interesting, but what on earth is the point of a yellow jacket? They say everything on this earth has a purpose, but I've yet to find out cockroaches and yellow jackets and boar bees and,
Yeah, boar bees.
Why?
Ooh, I'd rather have the yellow jacket than the boar bees.
Yeah, right?
That's a good question.
What is
we could probably call Grandpa and find out the real purpose of yellow jackets.
Or hornets, for that matter.
He did hornets. I think, they don't really pollinate.
Yeah.
But they do have a purpose. They are a food source. That could be part of their purpose. Ooh. Skunks love their larvae. Okay. They also, hornets and yellow jackets are meat eaters. So
are those yellow jackets?
That looks like a hornet on the right.
Well, it says that's the queen. The
queen
yellow
jacket.
Oh, the queen yellow jacket, which looks like the picture that I sent
and then
you.
That's her offspring.
Except she was alive.
Yes, right.
Very alive.
Yes. So anyway, they got a purpose. They eat a lot of dead things.
Okay.
Meat,
Aren't possums for that? Possums are way cuter than a hornet. I'm just saying.
I know. Boy, it's a shame though. Possum wouldn't hurt anyone, but everyone wants to kill them.
I know. I'm like, leave them alone. They're sweet.
They're marsupials.
Yes.
Like a kangaroo.
If they didn't have the ugly tail, I think people would get over it.
Boy, they look horrible.
They are.
Yeah.
Jennifer's got a soft spot for possums.
Jennifer does?
Yes.
You love possums?
I do.
Is it possum or opossum?
Possum.
Possum?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, I know. This is what I call them.
At Jackson High School?
I don't know. I don't know that I ever had a possum discussion at Jackson High School. But no, I went out in my garage. I've had numerous ones in my garage, right? Because we have kitties.
Oh, yeah.
So they come in through the kitty door and they look for food or whatever. So no, I had this and I told James and he thinks I'm insane, but it really happened. So we have we have a fridge out in the garage too with water and beer and stuff in it. And so I went out there one night, didn't think anything about it. It was dark. I was walking. So I turn around and there's this possum sitting there. And I'm like, well, I can either freak out or scream or I can have a discussion with it. So I was like, you are so pretty, but I just need you to go ahead and get out of my garage because you don't belong here, okay?
You didn't tell the possum.
Yes, I had
pretty.
a full. Yes, it was really pretty. It was black and white. I've never seen anything like it. It was not a skunk. It was a possum, but it was really pretty for a possum. And so I'm having this whole discussion with it, and it
Where was Jamie at?
inside.
Did he come and talk?
No.
Okay.
So then I went in and had to explain to him that I just had a discussion with a possum out of the garage.
Oh, Jennifer. Yeah, I hate them. I really do. But I don't hurt them.
No, of course not.
Raccoons,
they do all good.
Raccoons.
Yeah, raccoons.
Raccoons have a different. Yeah.
They're cute, but are
mean.
Yeah. And then possums do all kind of good things, but aren't
ugly.
so cute. So
It's a shame.
anyway, we digress.
Let's talk about bee tools.
Okay.
If you want to be a beekeeper, what's your bare necessities?
Absolutely. Oh. And how do you get into it? Can you just call Corey
you can call me.
Okay.
My phone number is all over the Facebook page, Precious Stone Honey and Supply.
Okay.
It's on the website. It's easy to get a hold of me. Okay. So
basic bee tools.
Basic bee tools. So we'll start with this one right here. Okay. This is called a J-hook hive tool.
Okay.
So it looks kind of like a little pry bar. And that's exactly what it does.
See, again, more props. Look at you go.
Yeah. So right here, these frames are all really loose because they haven't been propolized. But sometimes the frames get stuck in there pretty good. The bees make this stuff called propolis, and that's what seals the inside. So that way water can get to here, but it can't get in here. And propolis is red. Dark orange, red, orange color, and it like glues the boxes together. So you take your hive tool and you push it in there. Whoops, my honey was in the way, to break that seal. Okay.
Gotcha.
Then you can take this J hook and it will help lift out the hive. The frame. And then you take out your frame. Okay.
Gotcha.
So a hive tool is very, very important. Now, we do not sell any other type of hive tool except a J hook hive tool. Okay. This is our other one. And it is a hook as well. This was a little more sharp. Once again, it's a hook style hive tool.
Okay.
We don't sell the ones that look like pry bars.
Okay.
You need that hook. Okay. The hook's very handy.
Gotcha.
That's one thing we try to do at our place. Okay. So we sell things that we don't use very little. I like to sell things that I know that you're going to need.
Yeah. There's no sense in selling people a bunch of stuff they don't need.
No. And some people, now I will tell you, some customers, I sell things that I don't use because they absolutely want it. And I had to learn early on, as I'm sure you've been in business.
Customer's always right.
Customer's right. And, I'm not going to argue with customers. If they think that they need this type of something and I don't have it, I'll order it for them.
Sure.
But everything we sell, basically, we know is good quality equipment that will be used regularly. I didn't bring a bee brush because a bee brush is we sell them. But they're bad for beginner beekeepers because that's what the beekeeper will want to do is they want to brush those bees. They don't like that.
Okay.
They get really frustrated when they're brushed.
You don't want to take off our bees.
Don't take them off because then they get mad.
Yeah. We don't want mad bees. We want happy bees.
Gloves. How do you handle bees without getting stung? Right here. We got beekeeping gloves. These are goat skin leather. This yellow spot is ventilation. So that way your wrists don't sweat and stick. That's a good spot to get stung, okay? And those are gloves. I don't wear gloves all the time anymore because I like to be able to feel with my fingers. I don't like to lose that dexterity.
Okay. So you're insane is what you're saying.
Well, no, I'm not insane. Now, I don't always, it depends what the hive is. There are some hives I can work with nothing. Okay.
I would think hives do they have their own personalities?
They sure do.
So you're like Hive A over there.
Right.
She's sassy, that one.
Exactly. And if one hive gets mad and they release their pheromone, which is like their little chemical that they release.
Okay.
Then all the bees around smell that and it's like, uh-oh, something's going on.
Oh.
So that's the downside. If you start working a hive that's normally docile and you don't have any gear on and that hive would suddenly decide to get angry, then you have nothing on. And if you got a yard like some of mine where there might be 15, 20 colonies, you're going to get lit up. And it's not good.
No, that would not be a happy day.
No, not a happy day. So anyway, gloves. If you wear nitrile gloves, not latex, but the nitrile, a real heavy, like a 8 mil nitrile glove.
Okay.
The stinger can't puncture the nitrile very well.
Okay.
So then you've got the best of both worlds. You've protected your hands,
but you can still
use your fingers.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I usually wear, and I have to wear the nitrile when I'm doing hive inspections for the county.
Okay.
So when I'm doing inspections for the county, I can't use my personal gear.
I gotcha.
In case there would be a contaminated hive.
Sure.
And the disease would spread. Okay. This is your jacket. Now, Jennifer.
Yes.
You want to try on the jacket?
Sure.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Put that jacket on. You can model for us.
Oh, great. That's what I've always wanted to do.
Now, that's a big jacket. It's not made for someone of your size.
Oh, it's got thingies.
Yeah, be careful with those. They're not hanger straps either.
Wait, hold on. Okay, wait. Oh, it's got Velcro and everything.
Yeah, that Velcro is very important.
Fancy.
So why do you think that Velcro is there?
Probably to close everything off.
Right. You don't
want
bees to get
Isn't there a hood thing?
Oh yeah. Come on, put it up there. I don't want to mess up your curls.
Oh, you can. Oh wait. Oh, there's a hat.
It's a fencing veil. So you don't
bring it on.
That's right. So basically, you don't have to zip it all the way up. But that jacket there, and show them those little straps around your thumbs again.
Okay, so there's straps here.
That would go around your thumb, and then when you put the glove on, that keeps your sleeve from being pulled all the way up your arm.
Oh.
That's what those look. So if you get a bee jacket, guys, don't cut off the little straps. That's their
those
purpose.
Are important
yeah.
To hold it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can keep that on as long as you want.
Why don't you go ahead and throw those gloves on?
Yeah, go ahead. Put some gloves on.
Thanks, James.
What else? What else you got we can put on her?
Wrong hand, Jen, isn't it? Nope.
No.
I
am a girl. Don't mess with me. No, does the
I don't
gloves
teach
go
science.
over or under?
Over
the sleeve.
Over.
Okay.
Come on now.
I got it. I see.
Here, put your other glove on.
Oh, okay.
We need you to be in full costume.
I got it. Oh, now James is going to take pictures. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, good job,
thought we were
James.
Friends. I feel like I look like I'm from outer space.
You kind of do. Okay, so Jennifer will be coming with me to finish up all the hive inspections for the county this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this what you would wear?
Yeah, except I can't wear those gloves, but that's what I wear when I work bees.
So, okay, so when you go to do hive inspections, like you know your own personal hives, right?
Right.
You know their personalities, you know how they are. Well, when you go to inspect other people's hives, how do you...
Well, that can be interesting sometimes.
Are bees like children, like you have to discipline them, or they just are how they are?
There is not much discipline you can do.
You're a bad bee.
I mean, okay, so in all seriousness, let's say you got a hive. We would call that a hot.
Can I take this off
You
now?
can take it off.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's hot.
Yes, now that's a ventilated jacket.
Whew.
The old timers wore canvas.
Oh, gosh.
Can you imagine being in total canvas in 100-degree heat?
No.
Because you do hive inspections.
That's a lot.
In the middle of the day. You don't do hive inspections in the morning when it's cool.
Oh.
You don't do them in the evening when it's cool.
Because there's
too many bees. It's hard to do a good inspection.
Gotcha.
Try me to hang that back up on our nice stand here.
Whew. Yeah, that's...
So
that's
anyway, I forget what we were saying. Do I wear that when I do hive? Oh, the bees.
The bee, like how
Angry
do you know?
bees.
Yeah, like how do you know people's personalities of their own hives and to protect yourself?
We can make a movie. Angry Birds.
Angry bees.
Angry Bees. It would be a blockbuster hit. Watching people run frantically and getting stung. I think it would have...
James, are you in?
You in? We could retire early.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I feel like I'd rather be around angry birds than angry bees any time.
You would?
For sure.
Yeah.
I bet Alfred Hitchcock could make a bee movie.
Ooh, the bees.
The bees. Anyway, back to hot bees. That's what we'd call it. We call it a hot hive.
Okay.
Bees that are angry. My great-grandpa always said, and a lot of the old-timers say, that a hot hive is a honey-producing hive. So they would
'Cause they're
tolerate
sassy.
them. That's right. They're protective. They're just usually, if it's a strong colony. Colonies get hot for several reasons. One, they could just be a temperamental hive.
Okay.
Okay.
Does that
How do
based on the personality of the queen?
Pretty much of the queen, yes.
Okay, so if she's real sassy,
So,
then they're going to
and if it's really bad, and I had one last year that was so bad I could hardly do inspections on it.
Oh.
And I wasn't getting stung, but when you're getting attacked constantly and that pheromone's being released, it just makes it really difficult to do stuff.
Yeah.
So you can requeen the colony. You kill the queen, and yeah, there's a queen.
How do you do that? How do you find her?
Well, she's big, kind of like that yellow jacket picture he put up.
Okay.
The queen bee is much larger.
I
Okay?
see.
So you can requeen, and that can calm the colony down. Another reason that they're angry is if they're starving to death. Okay. If it's a young colony, it doesn't have to be a giant colony to be a mean hive. They'll also get really angry if their queen is failing or the queen has died. Okay.
Because they're just clueless.
Exactly. Let's say that the queen died and there was no eggs to make a new queen, because the bees will replace their own queen. All they need is a fertilized egg and they can make a queen. Okay.
Sure.
So when they're we call that hopelessly queenless. When that happens, they can become a hot hive. Okay. That doesn't want you around.
Can you just give them a new queen?
Yeah, you sure can.
Okay.
Yeah. We sell queens too. So if you need queens, we got queens.
Okay.
Usually, most of the time. Not right now, because I just got back from vacation. I didn't want the queens to die.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Long live the queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, did I ever tell you I was the horse queen?
No.
Yeah.
How'd that work?
I was just that good. I have a tiara and everything.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
Do you ride horses?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I used to. I'm too old and fat now, but
I didn't know that about you.
oh yeah, since I was 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, smoker. Remember I said the bees get hot and mad?
Yeah.
So the beekeeper uses a smoker. Its purpose is to block the pheromone. It also calms the bees.
Wonder why that is.
Because bees think they're in a tree when they're inside this box. So lightning strikes a tree catches on fire. Bees know, oh, we have to evacuate our house. It's burning down.
Okay.
So they immediately run to the honey and they start gorging themselves on honey so that they can live for a few days or, till they go set up a new colony.
So they make a new house.
So when you smoke the hive, they really think that, oh, our hive is on fire and we've got to go get honey. So they quit worrying about you and they focus on honey. And so it distracts them.
I got you.
It also blocks the pheromone. So when they're getting really, really mad, the smoker calms them. I don't use the smoker all the time. Now, when I'm doing county inspections, you better believe I've got the smoker ready to go because you just never know. But I don't like to use smoke unless I have to.
Okay.
Smoke can hurt the bees a little bit. If your smoke is too hot, believe it or not, there is a proper way to use a smoker.
Sure.
It's a whole different discussion. We don't have time. But when this smoker is good, I can take my hand like this and puff smoke and it not burn me.
Right.
If
that
it's
makes sense.
burning my hand, it can actually burn.
It's burning them then.
Well, it'll burn their wings off is what happens.
You can't do that.
No, and then they're dead.
Yeah.
Okay. So we be careful with the smoke. Smoking, the smoke that comes out of the smoker should be a cool white smoke.
Okay.
A lot of the old timers, they would smoke a pipe while they was working their bees.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they'd have a pipe in and that put the smoke around their face. Bees want to come at your face and hands.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because they know that's our tender spot.
Oh, they're smart little boogers, aren't they?
Yes, and that's if you ever notice an animal, a dog, cat, raccoon, possum, where's the most vulnerable spot on an animal like that? Let's test your anatomy of critters. Let's use a dog. A dog is easy. Where would be a dog's most vulnerable spot on his body?
Well, I feel like if a dog gets attacked, they go for like their neck or something.
That's because they're trying to kill them.
Okay.
But their belly. There's not much. There's hardly any hair down the belly.
Yeah,
okay?
no, you're right.
So when the raccoon, he wants to get in there to steal the honey, or the skunk wants to break into the hive to get the bees,
yes.
he has to get up on his hind legs. which exposes that whole underside.
Uh-huh.
So here we go. The miraculous. This is just how you know that these things can't be created just by crawling out of
Something.
some
Like,
hole.
somebody gave them a personality that
Exactly.
knows.
And that gives the bee the opportunity then to sting in that tender area where the stinger will penetrate. It can't go through the fur. It's very hard. He'd have to climb in there.
Sure.
But those guard bees can go, and then it'll run off the
critter.
The critter.
Whatever critter it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people ask me all the time, hey, can kids keep bees? Yeah, kids can help you keep bees. You saw the picture of my boys in their little suits.
Yes, look how, and you brought one of those. So cute.
You know, just
look at them. They are so precious.
We have great suits. You know, it's like a 4-8, so they'll get a couple years out of it before they have to replace it. And you can get the kids out there to help mom or dad or grandpa, grandma, whoever, keep bees.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have to have the right personality to keep bees? And because most of the people that I know, such as yourself, have a very non-type A personality, like a very laid back, more mellow personality. Is that something that's required? Or because me, I feel like I'm too much of a control freak to do bees. I think I would have them all in a frenzy in 5 seconds.
You said you was a horse person.
Yeah.
Well, if you can do horses, you can do bees.
Okay.
Bees. I don't know if this is scientific. I don't even know if
horses are good for me because they calm you. You have to be.
From what I've been told, a horse can sense.
Very much so.
Well, I think bees can sense us.
And that's why I guess I asked, do you need to be super
it's
chill?
It's all technique. I mean, you've got to be chill, but at the same time, when things get bad, you have to be able to act swiftly, but not aggressively in a very quick way.
That's problem solving.
Exactly. I mean, just think about it. Think about if you would accidentally knock the hive over, and you've got, 50,000 bees everywhere. You can't just leave that there.
Yeah, you got to put it back for them.
Put it back together, whether
you
you're
just destroyed their house
or not. That's right. So there are things that require it, but it's all practice.
Okay.
It's all you get a feel for it, and you learn. You learn the personality. I can smell a hive and know if I'm going to have trouble.
Okay. It's just experience.
Yeah. I can pop the lid on a hive, and before I pull a frame out, know if I need to touch that hive or come back another time.
Okay.
You just learn it. But you don't learn that. I mean, how do you learn? Hard knocks.
Sure.
How do you know a horse can sense you? Well, because you've messed up.
Yeah.
A time or two, right?
A couple times. There's a lot of falling on your head, which explains a whole lot about me.
Hey, one more thing I want to talk about. I know we're getting ready to wrap up, and I want to do our honey last. But this little contraption right here, if you're a beekeeper, okay, and I don't know how many beekeepers we have watching the show today, this is called a Varroa Easy Check. So we've talked a lot about the importance of bees and how we get honey and what they live in. What we haven't talked about is what is public enemy number one to the bees. And it's a little critter called the Varroa Mite.
Oh.
And the Varroa Mite is a parasite that came into the United States in the late 80s, early 90s.
We don't like it then.
No, we do not. So we never had to deal with it here. When my great-grandpa was in his heyday of bees, he didn't have to deal with the Varroa Mite at all.
Gotcha.
Now it's the number one leader of what's called colony collapse.
Oh, we don't want that.
Exactly. So when you have a good, strong colony that you had 80 to 100 pounds of honey on going into winter with lots of bees, and that thing all of a sudden is dead in the spring, more than likely you lost it due to a Varroa Mite level that was too high.
Okay.
And what the mite is, basically, it's like the tick of the honeybee. Okay. It attaches itself to the bee.
I see.
It uses the bee as a host. It goes into the cell that we showed, right, in the frame, the little bee cell, the hexagon cell.
Yeah.
It lays its eggs there. They attach to the larva. So they're using the blood and the nutrients of the larva
Oh, this is just all
so
bad.
that they can multiply.
Yeah.
And that one mite creates 6 or 7 mites in that cell. And then when the larva hatches, you have a mite explosion.
Oh,
And just like with ticks on dogs and humans, the Varroa Mite carries disease.
I see.
And so really what happens is it weakens the bee's immune system to where they don't have the energy to stay warm in the winter, even though they had plenty of food.
Gotcha.
And so we use this with 70% or higher isopropyl alcohol.
Okay.
We take a sample of 300 bees. And 300 bees, there's a level in here, okay? It's about a half a cup of bees, okay? And we dump them in here and we kill them. We kill 300 bees. And then we look at the bottom and the mites will actually be laying in here because the alcohol kills the mites.
See.
And so you count your total mites and you divide it by 3. So if you had 9 mites, divide by 3, that gives you a number of 3.
Sure.
That would say that colony has a 3% infestation of Varroa mites. We want to treat if it's 3% or higher.
And how do you do that?
There's several different options.
Okay. You go see Corey and he tells
Come
you.
see me. If you're having a mite problem, and if your hives aren't registered, register your hives so you can get a free inspection.
Okay.
I'm working on hive inspections right now. If some people's watching that hasn't had their apiary inspected yet, I haven't forgot about you. We're building a house, and I'm swamped, and I hate to do it when it's 100 degrees.
Yeah, no, that's
So we're going to get it
understandable.
done, and we appreciate everyone's patience and cooperation with that.
Speaking of what you're just saying, we have a question here. Does it require any permits or anything if you want to have a beehive in your neighborhood?
That's a very good question. I was going to
Yeah.
actually say that.
Yeah, so unless there is an ordinance or an HOA restriction, you can place bees anywhere. Some cities had a ban. I know the city of Portsmouth just lifted that a couple years ago. So now you can actually keep beehives in downtown Portsmouth
Okay.
in your backyard.
I see.
Be courteous of others.
Sure.
Be courteous. If you live in a very congested area, find out from your neighbors if they have a severe allergy to bees.
Yeah, because there are people, that's life and death
Bee
stuff.
venom can kill you.
Yes.
It can cause anaphylactic shock.
Yes.
I keep an EpiPen with me doing inspections because you could be stung your whole life and never have a problem.
Never
and then
know.
that one time.
Yep.
Okay.
We also got a question about what kind of plants that you could grow to keep the bees happy.
Ooh, good one.
Sure. So remember, around here, trees are your friend. So the tulip poplar tree is great. The black locust tree. If you really want to help bees in your yard, don't kill all your dandelions. Don't kill the white clover.
Well, don't worry. There's so much in my yard. I don't have any. There's enough for everyone.
Get on your get on the web. Google up.
Well, a lot of the flowers that you buy in the store, it'll say great for pollination.
Pollinators.
Pollinators
Yes.
love this.
Yep.
Like just read the tags.
That's the ones you want to get.
Yeah.
Stuff that pollinators can benefit from.
Yeah. Echinacea, I think, like some of those, definitely good
You
for
want to
that.
taste some honey?
Yeah, let's taste honey.
Okay.
We have
So
a
I
couple
got plastic
minutes.
spoons.
James, are you going to taste honey?
James, you gonna taste honey?
Heck yeah.
All right.
Let's
So
do it.
Jennifer, go ahead. That one's never
Okay.
been opened. It's brand new.
I'm excited. It's all natural honey.
And then you guys can keep this jar. This is yours.
Oh, we'll fight over it.
You can't double dip.
No, we won't double dip.
We're COVID friendly.
still a global pandemic going on. So.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
I hope it's not gritty. That
Let's
was
see.
a fall bottle.
Hi, there's people we're eating in here. Yeah.
Tell them to come in and get some honey.
Ooh, this is really good.
You guys want to try local honey?
That's really good.
Well, I want to try some. I didn't even try this jar. Is it still
Yeah.
good?
Yeah.
Is it
Honey
gritty?
doesn't go bad, Corey.
It doesn't go bad. Is it gritty?
No.
By the way, if your honey turns to sugar, that's
It's
a
good.
one. Mm-hmm.
James, do you want to try it?
James, you better try. You got 30 seconds.
That's right. As he falls over, coming over here. It's funny if you want to get rid of people out the hallway, you just ask them to come in here and be on the show.
Yeah. Or taste
Did you see how they run?
Maybe they didn't like my honey.
I think that, I don't know how anyone wouldn't like your honey. So now, okay, do you sell this honey at your place?
Yeah, and I'll just be honest with you. We're not going to have honey to sell to the public for a year or two.
Okay.
We had a bear destroy one of our main honey production yards.
Yeah, crazy story.
Follow the Telegram.
Yes.
That is your paper, right?
Yes.
Okay. They're going to have a little story on that. So we have to build our apiary up because we
That's
want to
really
be able to
sad.
supply the community year round. So you either make bees or make honey, and you can't do both at the same time.
Okay.
So we're
You've
going to
gotta
focus
build your
on that.
bees
We
back
want to
up.
build up to about 100 colonies where we can have honey year round.
Well, Corey, you called me one night and you said, you're not going to believe this. A bear destroyed my hives. And you're very upset about it because I know that you get like emotional and you get attached to these bees. They're like your children, right? I mean, you do get
I
like,
guess one could say that.
yeah, I think so. I mean, they're part of your life. And so, but you were upset. And I think that you were a little upset with yourself because you said, I believe you said, I should have known better. I know how to prevent bears. I just didn't do it because I didn't think it would ever be an issue around here. Well, then like 2 days later, there's all these bear sightings everywhere in our county. So,
and it is crazy. And WSAZ even reached out to us, and they're going to come up. I'm going to bear proof one of the yards, and I've got some really good plans.
And it's very possible to do. You said you just hadn't done it.
Right. From a colleague of mine. And they're going to come up, and I think they're going to put it on the television. And I want to share that with people, how to bear proof your bee yards. Because around here, guys, we have to do it now. It's not a...
Well, you just didn't think it was a thing before.
And even though it might not ever happen again, because I know the bears have been there ever since the bees have been there, that cost me $5,000 or $6,000.
Absolutely.
The equipment wasn't destroyed, but that's a whole yard of bees that now has to be started from scratch.
Yeah.
So,
and it's sad.
It is. It is. If I was depending on this to pay my bills, that would have been catastrophic.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Well, I'm very sorry about your bees. It was sad when you called.
That's all right. There will be more bees.
There will be, we hope.
Several people has asked, are you going to get out of the bee business over this? My wife, she's been, lots of people, no, we're not getting out of the bee business. That's just part of life. We'll get through it, and it'll all be okay.
That's right.
Yep.
It's just, you learn something from everything.
Right.
Yes. All right. Well, we have a few minutes. Is there any other questions, James, while we're...
No, we got it.
Okay.
We're past time. We don't have a few
I
more
know.
minutes.
We better get out of here. Matt's going to turn us off whether we're done or not. So, all right. Well, Corey, thank you so much. Again, give everybody the info of how they can get a hold of you, or if they have questions or want to buy things.
Yeah, you can check us out on Facebook, Precious Stone Honey and Supply. You can also check out our website, www.preciousstoneHoney.com, and you can call me or text me 740-988-8860.
All right.
Save the bees.
That's right. And give your bee a hug today.
That's right. Go hug your bee.
Go hug your bee.
Yeah.
Or not. But just tell it it's pretty anyway.
Don't kiss your bee.
Oh, someone says Ruby 2024.
Oh, that's Philip Malone. That's right. Thanks, Philip.
Hey, I'm all there.
Are you there?
We're there.
Really?
If you're there, I'm there.
You be
Let's
my
go for
campaign
it.
manager?
Oh, heck yeah. James and I will do it.
Yeah. Hey, I'd get some airtime, couldn't I?
Yeah, sure thing.
Let's do it.
I don't know. I think there's some regulations we'd have to give your opponent equal airtime.
We would.
That's what the FCC says.
You could sting them.
Yeah, you could send your bees
Send
after
my
them.
bees. Hey, come over here. We're going to do this at the bee yard.
You would
come on over.
You would have a congressional hearing if you did
Yeah,
that.
right. A debate in the bee yard. I like it.
Bee
I would
sting
like that.
and all of his
Yeah.
political opponents.
That's fantastic. All right. Well, we have to get out of here for the day. Thank you,
All right.
Corey Ruby, for being here today. And I feel like we could have talked for like 4 hours about all this stuff.
We'll
So,
do it again.
yeah, we need to do this. And
Bring the
again,
extractor in sometime and extract honey right here live. That would be a great one.
that would be fun. So, well, have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll be right back here tomorrow. Just
Sounds
see
good.
how I did that.
Yeah, I love it.
All right. Have
Thanks,
a great
guys.
day. Bye bye.
See ya.